Hi, I'm Dr. Randy Hurst. I'm a psychologist. This video's topic is on what I refer to as the actor-observer bias. I've seen it also referred to as a fundamental attribution error. Fancy names. But here's the thing. Here's the pattern. I'll describe it to you, and you can see if there's any way that it fits in things that you've thought or done. So the idea here is that if I do something, as the actor, I'm the person who does the thing. If it turns out well, isn't that what we all want? You know, I did it. It turned out well. Yeah, that's what I intended. And so, you know, I see that as reflecting well on me. But if I do something that turns out poorly, you know, I didn't intend that. There's something that I didn't realize. Now that I know, I wouldn't do that again. You know, I don't feel badly about me, hopefully. I mean, some people do. You know, if something turns out wrong, they punish themselves. They degrade themselves. But in general, most people, something turns out poorly, whoa, I need to figure out why, or I didn't realize something, and so I'm not going to do that again. Make an adjustment. But here's the thing. If another person does something and turns out well, it's real easy to go, well, he was lucky. Or if they do something that turns out poorly, it's like, why doesn't he think? Just think. And, you know, isn't it fascinating that we can react or treat ourselves in a completely different way than we'll think about that other person? Very common. Probably one idea is that, you know, we know what we intend. We know why we chose what we did. All we see with somebody else is their behavior. Their behavior. We don't know the wheres and why fors that they chose to do what they did. But we react to the outcome so differently if it's us versus them. Okay, so what's the interesting, but why is this important? Well, what if the other is your spouse? Or your child, a coworker, a boss? You know, it's so easy to react in the way of reacting toward the other that we discount their choices, both in the form of if it turned out well, they were lucky. If it turned out poorly, it's like, oh. That's one issue. How do you treat the other person in your life the way you would want to be treated? How do you think about it the way you would want them to think about us? And what would you hope for if you do something that turns out poorly and somebody is there seeing it? Do you want them to treat you like you're an idiot for choosing that? Probably not. You know, you might want to find out, well, what made you choose that? You know, well, you know, to be able to be supportive and learn from a choice that doesn't go well. But you would probably want them to respond toward you in the same way, rather than with that fundamental bias against the actor, the other. I mean, how do you step back? It really goes to another thing that we'll talk about at another time, the kind of golden rule. You know, how do you treat others the way you would wish that they would treat you? How do you avoid treating others the way you wouldn't want to be treated yourself? But this goes to that thing that I've talked about in one of the other videos about reacting If you just go by the reaction, if you just go by what you know, it's easy to react in a way that you wouldn't want others to react toward you with, treat you like. Step back and think for a second. What's the better way to go here? But boy, it's easy to just react because of the way the brain is. Again, that's in an odd way, that's our battle. That reacting brain versus the responding brain. So see if you do those things. Oh, there is one real problematic. If you happen to be one of those people who does the opposite of what I talked about for oneself. If you're the person who says, oh, it turned out well, I was lucky. Oh, it turned out badly, well, that's what I always do. That really is a setup for depression, discouragement, feelings of failure, for a lot of self-stress, a lot of self-judgment that really is unhealthy. And again, understand, whether you learned this in some way or you just have an attitude about yourself. How do you cut yourself a break? Notice the positives that you do and learn from the ones that you go, oh, that wasn't a good idea. But how do you be a good parent, a good coach to yourself? And truly, some in training, look at the dog training video that I haven't done yet, but I will do. It's so easy to go for a real fast, even harsh reaction because it catches your attention. But you can become very negative about yourself. And it's so easy, like I said, with the actor-observer bias to become negative about other people's choices. So pulling back from that easy, quick place that the brain can go and nurturing your sense of self by looking at positives and gains you're making, as well as your sense of others. Who wouldn't want to be treated decently? If you happen to be that person who grew up in a very harsh situation, it's hard. This has been happening then maybe in your life for many, many years, many decades even. How do you rein back, pull back, and cut yourself a break and be encouraging? Hard, easy to describe, hard to do. It takes a lot of redoing the new way to have the wiring do battle with the old wiring so that you can plan on this being a long-term project and notice any gains that you're making. It's a good place to go at the end of the day. Check on how you did. Did you notice good things? Did you cut yourself a break? Try it. Again, hard to do. But even with any therapy that you do, if you decide you need to go to therapy, it's still what you do between sessions. And how do you take note of good changes and understand that it's so easy to fall back into old patterns, but don't hammer yourself over it. Just, okay, what do I want to do more? What do I want to do better tomorrow? And just take it day by day. Okay, I hope this helps. And again, none of this is what do you call it? Not therapy. If you just information, and if it helps, great. If you find it's just not enough, get help. If you are having problems that are affecting your life or your relationships with others, take care, and hope you're enjoying.